Can y'all hear? No, it's not. All right. I will welcome us. Matt was trying to welcome you all, but it was all in our ears. So I will continue what Matt was saying and say welcome both here and online. We know it's a hard day today. We know that we're all coming in. It's a hard day for our city. And we hope that what we will journey through together will acknowledge that, but also make space for joy and hope for a better day tomorrow as we hold the challenge of this moment. So let us remember God together as we sing this morning. Remember the power of God, that God is still speaking even amidst tragedy. If you're inclined, you can stand in body or mind and join us today.
There is no fear, 'cause I believe. There is no doubt, 'cause I have seen your faithfulness, my fortress, over and over. I have a hope found in your name. I have a strength found in your grace. Your faithfulness, my fortress, over and over. Make way through the waters, walk me through the fire. Do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. Shut the mouths of lions, bring dry bones to life, and do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. I believe in you. Release your love inside of me. Unleash your power for all to see. Spirit, come and fall on us over and over. Oh Lord, make way through the waters, walk me through the fire. Do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. Shut the mouths of lions, bring dry bones to life, and do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. God of abundantly, more than we ask or think. Lord, you will never fail. Your name is powerful. Your word's unstoppable. All things are possible in you. God of
exceedingly, God of abundantly, more than we ask or think. Lord, you will never fail. Your name is powerful. Your word's unstoppable. All things are possible in you.
Make way through the waters, walk me through the fire. Do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. Shut the mouths of lions, bring dry bones to life, and do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe. I believe in you. There is no fear, 'cause I believe. There is no doubt, 'cause I have seen your faithfulness, my fortress, over and over.
Well, good morning again. Good morning again.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. While you are standing, if you are standing, if you're not standing, you can still say hi to folks, greet each other this morning.
Too soon. We got one more song before we pass the piece. So we will have you all greet each other in a second, and Jillian will do that. But before we sing the next song, again, just wanted to acknowledge how you're coming into the space. I can feel sort of the energy in the room this morning. It's a little bit lower than normal, and I just want to say that's okay. I'm in seminary, and yesterday I was in my class called The Black Prophetic Tradition. And one of the books that we're studying in that class is Howard Thurman's Jesus and the Disinherited. And in that book, he asks a question: what does our Jesus have to say about those with their backs against the wall? And so I've been holding that question with me, and he also goes to talk about the psychology of the oppressed, and how we have to continue to love in spite of. And so that's really hard. That's really hard, especially when we see our neighbors getting kidnapped. It's really hard when we're trying to survive. Brings up fear of our own bodies as we think about protecting our neighbors' bodies. And so Howard Thurman always points us back to love as a solution. And we were talking about in class how that feels insufficient sometimes. And so I think we can just sometimes let it feel insufficient, but that doesn't mean that God is not good, even though that things are happening and suffering is happening. It's actually sometimes in the chaos that we're able to experience that goodness. So as we sing this next song, just know that we're not offering a toxic sort of positivity, but a return to a faith that in spite of, it will still be good.
I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am made, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest night. You are close like no other. I know you as a father. I know you as a friend. And I have lived in the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. Oh, yes, you have. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after me. Your Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. Yeah. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after me. Yeah. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. All my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God.
All right. Good morning, friends. Again, for real this time. Can y'all say hi to? Can y'all say hi to one another? Keep in mind it is flu season, so just make sure you have folks' consent. But say hi to everybody.
Well, good morning, Watershed. Good morning. My name is Matt, and I'm the lead pastor here at Watershed now for a lead pastor at least for the last 20 years or so. And to my right is David Roberts. Does anybody know David Roberts? Yeah, of course. So this series, Grounded, was a series that we started thinking about this past summer. And the idea was, what does it mean to be grounded in gratitude? And so week one, we talked about being grounded in the freedom to think and believe differently. And then last week you heard from our music leadership team, and it was around the idea of being grounded in the gratitude of being able to structure or organize or create new ideas about leadership and collaboration. And we had a particular direction that we were going to go this morning, and we're still going to head in that direction in just a moment. But because of certain events that have unfolded in the world, and then some events that have unfolded within the construct of Watershed, this is at least a bit of a pivot. And so, David, you want to talk about this first pivot with kind of what's going on in our world?
Yeah, so I think most of you are probably at least loosely aware, but this last couple days, ICE and Border Patrol have made their presence known in Charlotte, and we anticipate that's going to continue for the foreseeable future. A lot of folks have reached out and kind of wondered what can be done. Is there any resources Watershed has to offer? And the short answer to that is yes. The long answer to that will probably continue to evolve in the coming weeks. So some of the stuff that I'm going to offer you this morning might look different in the near future, but just a few things that we were able to sort of rally around or cobble together in the last 48 hours, I want to just make available to all of you. So first I'm going to put a couple things up on the screen here. So these are two options for anyone looking to make an immediate impact. On the side over here, that's a Venmo account that is raising funds for some families that have already been directly affected. Okay, so these are families where primary caregivers have already been taken, and this is a vetted group of individuals who are raising funds to help with things like food, basic necessities, potentially legal help, and things like that. Yeah, so there's that. And then the QR code takes you to a registration for training. Originally, this training was going to happen tomorrow. That one filled up, so there is another one being offered at 6 p.m. This Wednesday at Dilworth United Methodist Church. This is a kind of a community watch training. So if you're someone who wants to just be aware of, like, what are we looking for, who are we alerting, and things like that. This will sort of be all about that. I'm guessing that this is going to fill up pretty quickly as well. I checked it this morning. It was still open, but this will probably be an ongoing thing. So as trainings like this happen, we'll continue to make you aware of them. And then the third option, which unfortunately I don't have a link for on the screen right now, but that is some folks in Chicago who, as many of you know, have been navigating this for a while now. They are providing their own digital kind of Zoom trainings every Friday. And so if you email me, david@watershed.charlotte.com, I can get you kind of hooked up with that option. They have recorded the first one that they did last week, and so I think I can share that with you as well. I wish I had more, hopeful things to say. I am relieved and grateful that there are folks in our community who have been preparing for this, have been prepared for this, and that we can sort of rally around their leadership and direct people in those directions. So if you have any questions, you can come talk to me after. I'll be in the back, or shoot me an email. And like I said, we'll keep you posted as more both needs and opportunities become available.
And that's david@watershed.charlotte.com in terms of an email. Or, and this kind of dovetails into those of you who are brand new, if you follow any QR code here at Watershed, it takes you to a landing page where you can see anything that's going on. And if you want to get involved, there's ways and access points to do that on that page, and one of which is a connection card. So if you need more information, you want to go through that mode, then that'll get flagged and sent to David as well. So it is rare, it seems like it's rare, that you and I sit here together. Fair enough?
Yeah, we try to avoid excessive concentration of straight white dudes on the stage when at all possible.
Yeah, so I mentioned this a little bit last Sunday at the end of our time together. If you were here, I came up and said, hey, gang, there's a bit of an update that I want to bring our Watershed community kind of into the know, and it involves some of the financial developments over the last 60 to 90 days. And it really wasn't the most ideal time to kind of flag that for everyone. And having talked about this for the last, month or so, watching things kind of evolve, a couple of weeks ago, David and I said, what if we sat on stage and kind of talked about this back and forth, kind of the way that we do on Mondays or Wednesdays or whenever it is that we get together. And I guess to preface this with, we've done series in the past where sort of the through line is about generosity, it's about giving, and that really wasn't the theme that we were shooting for in this series. In fact, it was kind of antithetical to that.
Yeah, so for the first time in the last 3 years, we've kind of rolled into the fall off the summer thinking, we're not going to have to do that this year. Yeah. That's pretty exciting. Yeah. And when it became clear, about a month ago that we maybe needed to pivot, we kind of were dragging our feet about it because we didn't want to have to make a pivot to do like a whole series talking about the financial sustainability of Watershed.
Yeah, and part of that is we want to be mindful of the fatigue that people are feeling right now because of all the other things that are going on in the world. But then also, anytime we sit on stage or stand up and talk about money, we're always a little bit mindful or really mindful that this might be your first Sunday. And so, like, if it is your first Sunday, what I would encourage you to do is just kind of sit on the sidelines of this and know that this isn't necessarily for you right now. It might be someday in the future if that's something that becomes evident in terms of how you find traction here. And then I also know that anytime we start talking about money here at Watershed, or anytime money is addressed in a church setting, usually people are walking in with either some sort of predisposed disposition, maybe a bad experience. But I want to be mindful of that as we get started this morning and talk about kind of where we are and what we hope for in 2026. I don't know if you have anything to add to that. I'll keep going. All right, sure. Why are you up here again?
Well, Matt is typically the good cop when it comes to this, and so I'm bad cop. And so he brought me to, it's actually the opposite. But,
it's actually the opposite, okay. Yeah, so I guess to rewind the game film, so to speak, as we were moving into the end of 2024, we had some real, a huge gap. It was about $6,000 worth of recurring giving that we needed to gain some ground in. And so we spent time talking about it in the latter parts of last year. The first 7 months of the year, the goal was, the first 6 months actually, is can we recoup? Can we add to the flow of income here around $6,000 a month of recurring giving? If we can do that, that creates a type of stability that then allows us to build into the future of 2026. And man, this community crushed it. We actually achieved that goal almost to the dollar. We had several new families or folks that came on board. And then we noticed that in August, or maybe mid-July, that there was a bit of attrition, which it didn't really raise too many red flags because sometimes that's sort of the drill for folks to maybe have a bit of a pullback as they head into August, September, and the rest of the year. And then it happened again in August, and then in September and October it happened again. And so what started out as maybe like $1,000 worth of pullback, and then another $1,000 or $1,500. Well, in terms of the last time I checked, we lost about $5,700 of recurring giving. And it wasn't just one family. It wasn't people opting out. It was people reducing. A lot of folks reducing. I think we had 28 households that either reduced by 20, 50, 75%, or we had folks that maybe they moved away. We have a lot of folks that sometimes will move to other parts of the world or other cities. We had folks in other parts of the world that used to come here who have been giving a long, long time who said, I think now's my time to opt out. So it wasn't any one thing that caused this. It was kind of a multitude of things, but it kind of lands us in this place of going, all right, how do we talk about this? What's the invitation? And how do we try to make meaning around any of this? I don't know if you have something that's pinging for you.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if you can tell my body language up here isn't super enthusiastic. Like, I don't like talking about this. It's kind of comes with the territory. It comes with the job. I especially don't like talking about this when I'd much rather be diverting attention to what we were talking about a few minutes ago. The timing is not ideal. I think, Matt and I were kind of touching base over the last 40 hours. I think if we felt that we were in position to pivot, and maybe if there was anything that we're talking about this morning that we felt that maybe we didn't need to talk about, we wouldn't be talking about it. But there's sort of a sense of urgency, kind of, we've been talking a lot over the last few weeks about urgency, courage, and audacity. And all three of those things feel, they feel relevant this morning. I don't know. Matt mentioned this. We always want to be so mindful, so sensitive of the baggage, the hurt, maybe people feel when it comes to giving at churches, when it comes to the finances at churches. And I'm guilty of this, in a more progressive, inclusive space like this. It would be nice if, as we sort of deconstruct right out of harmful theology, harmful ways of, looking at the world and one another, that kind of almost magically, all of this would be financially sustainable. Like, it would just work. Like maybe, some of the financial challenges in more traditional churches were somehow tied to their terrible theology, and if we could just get through that, then all of a sudden, just like my very politically different than myself father thinks this. He all the time he's like, "You made such a good strategic financial decision by leaving the expensive megachurch and coming here to this." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, what are you talking about? It's been 10 years. I still don't even remotely get paid as much at this church as I did that church. And don't hear the wrong thing with that. I would make that choice 10 times out of 10 again. Like, this work is important. And I don't want cynicism to be the thing that drives this to a halt. Cynicism feels like, maybe, at least for me, I don't want to speak for you, but at least for me, cynicism kind of feels like the dominant emotion I feel these days. And I think sometimes cynicism, there's a lie attached to it. When you feel cynical, maybe you feel enlightened. Like, I see things the way they really are, and so I'm opting out. I'm not going to fall prey to that again. Here's the reality, and I'm guilty of this as well. Like, we give money to horrible, horrible organizations every single day. That's the way our economy is built. You can't opt out of it. It sucks. And so I'm not bothered that churches, including this one, are held to a higher standard. We need to be held to that standard. The amount of clarity and accountability that y'all rightfully hold us to is good and worth celebrating. But I don't want cynicism to be the end of this work. We celebrated our 20th anniversary about a month ago. My hope is that in a few decades we look back and this season is the infancy of Watershed, not its twilight. I hope that we're going to be doing this for a long time. And I've made peace. A long time ago, I made peace with the fact that at some point this may evolve. It might not look like it does now with the two of us or people like us sitting up here. It might not look as much like a traditional church as many of us, are used to and have grown accustomed to. But I'm also not ready to accept that churches that are complicit and in bed with white Christian nationalism, or churches that are sitting on multi-million-dollar endowments, are the only sustainable way of doing spiritual community in this season. And so yeah, that's where we're at. And so we're trying to be transparent. We're kind of telling you what the need is. And we're coming with a sense of fatigue, but also sort of a sense of defiance. Not towards you, we love you, but towards everything kind of going on around us. And we're hoping to rally around that a little bit.
Yeah, when anger is driving the car for me, I don't get angry at Watershed. I get angry that there are churches right now in Charlotte who are propagating some of the most vile, toxic philosophy, theology that brings harm to the world, and they're the most well-funded. And that crushes me. It crushes me because I was a part of it at one time. I signed up for it. And in Watershed's earlier iterations, there was a version of that here where, to be quite frank, raising resources the first 5 to 10 years at Watershed was much easier than it is the last 10 when you start divorcing yourself from things like guilt and shame, and God's going to be angry if you don't do X, and it's all God, so you got to give back to God and things of that nature. And I know some of those dispositions still exist in the world, maybe even still exist in this room, but that's not the base note that you hear from stage or from our community. What you hear is, look, from what I'm told, from what we hear, not just within the folks in this room, but beyond this room, people who drive long distances to get here, that there's something unique about what happens in the work that's taking place here. And so, well, thank you for that. So, you know, I guess the invitation is not. I don't think it needs to start at generosity. I think it needs to start in embracing a mind shift that this is worth prioritizing differently than maybe we have been prioritizing it in our rhythms of giving throughout the course of a week or a month or a year. You look like you had something you were getting ready to say there.
No, I mean, sure, but
you always have something to say.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. The word that so how long have we been in this building?
Since 2017.
Yeah. So I was here the opening day. I wasn't on staff yet, and Matt and our former co-pastor, founding pastor Scott Hofert, they sat up here. And the word that morning, the word that was going to sort of guide this next season of Watershed was solidarity. And that word is sort of evergreen, I think, in this community. And I don't want to reduce it to just the financial element. I mean, that's mostly what we're talking about here this morning. And the bottom line is, I mean, we're giving you just some clear numbers of sort of what we need going forward to just keep doing what we're doing. You know, there's a world where it doesn't happen, and it's not like Watershed's going to just, you know, all of a sudden close its doors in the next, 3 months, 6 months, or anything like that. What would happen instead would be this slow, steady, gradual contraction over time, and maybe that's okay. Like, I really mean that. If that's what the future holds for us, then we're gonna go out as defiantly, beautifully, gracefully, and hopefully as generously as possible.
No, I'm going down swinging. I just want you to know.
I said the first word was defiantly.
Okay, all right. Just
but no, I don't think that's what's next for us. And that word solidarity. That again, that's not just a solidarity in generosity or finances. I mean, solidarity in presence, in being here together, and we're keenly aware of the fact that, like, the world is tough right now. The world is expensive right now. Despite the claims of some, it's not getting cheaper, as promised, and so we get that. We get that, and that's. Know that we know that, as we're having this conversation, and know that solidarity is not reducible to the financial aspect of it. Your presence here matters, probably more than anything else, more than dollars, more than anything. Just being here, like, it is encouraging to see you here, in spite of everything going on in the world right now. You being here makes a difference. And so if that's all you hear, more than any of the numbers or the financial stuff, hear that your presence here matters. And that's the primary invitation that we're setting out this morning.
I think
here.
In the past we've used the language of stakeholders. Like, Watershed needs to continue to embody and to invite folks to move from just active participants or attenders to sort of the stakeholder category, and much to what David mentioned, when you're here, as much as you are here, there's something that animates the room and gives life. It creates an ethos that allows for other people to walk in and go, oh, wow, this place is kind, it's engaging, it's It's a place that I want to belong. It's a place that includes laughter and voice. There's also the idea of just serving. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a minute through a particular category, but it's where we feel like that belonging starts to take root. There's also the idea of inviting people into the story here. This is funny, sort of, maybe not. There are times where folks will show up to Watershed, and maybe they'll be in preface, and I'll say, how did you show up here? And they'll say, oh, someone invited me to come. And so sometimes it's like, they invited me, they met me, we sat together, it's a whole thing. Every now and then they'll say, oh yeah, my hairdresser told me I should come to Watershed. Well, does your hairdresser go to Watershed? Well, no, but they love this church, and they send you there anyway, which is maddening. Can I just say that? Like, why doesn't the hairdresser show up with all her hairdresser or his hairdresser or their hairdresser friends? You see what I did there? Like, I got every pronoun right just then. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And then the last thing is the giving piece. And so this morning, that's the stakeholding that we long for, and for that to expand and for that to deepen. It might be worth mentioning, like, what happens when your resources flow in this direction. And we put this on the screen every now and then, but when you give your resource efforts, the resource efforts to stand in solidarity with our marginalized neighbors. I mean, you're seeing a witness of that this morning, and how we're trying to figure out what does it mean for Watershed to show up in the world that not just exists, but has evolved over the last weekend. When you give, you pave the way for healing, awakening, and hope for your Watershed community and neighbors. When you give, you invest in a generation of students and children to grow in a relationship with God, themselves, each other, and the world. When you give, you partner in the stewardship of the gift of physical space we are afforded here in this city. This is always this is one of the reasons you got excited about us moving into a building, having a space. You wanna piggyback off that, any? Like,
We talk about this all the time, but it's because it's true. I mean, this building is never empty, not any day of the week. Every single day, there's recovery groups meeting in here. We have student groups, activist groups who are organizing around solidarity with the most marginalized, with the most impoverished folks in our city, doing work that, quite frankly, I'm not qualified to do. He's not qualified to do. Like our expertise is elsewhere, but we're able to give them a space for no charge to do that important work, and that's literally only possible because of the resources generously given to Watershed to keep these doors open.
I want to be really clear where my heart is in this. This isn't this sort of depressed sort of woe is me moment for me personally. Because I was here when this thing started, when I look at a moment like this, if you were to ask me 20 years ago, if you had a couple hundred people that loved Watershed already, that you didn't have to convince, and you had already a flow of generosity, and you had systems in place, you had leadership in place, and there was a moment to step into, well, how would that make you feel? Versus having to generate that out of thin air as a new church emerges. Well, that's where we are right now. We have an opportunity to be something that we've yet to become. It's a season that we get to reimagine, which is literally what's happening behind the scenes as well during all of this. And so, in part, you're not just being invited into some sort of stakeholder existence. You're being invited into reimagining something that's been beautiful for 20 years, and I still think there's so much ceiling to capture. And so right now, in terms of what we need sooner than later, over the next 3 to 6 months, is an increase in recurring giving. And how that flows towards us is you can go online. There's real easy ways to do that if you follow the QR code. There's also another sort of lane that I'm kind of personally taking responsibility in working with donors that we've developed over the last several years to raise an additional $50,000 to $70,000 at the end of the year. This has been kind of the way that we have evolved each year, kind of this spring, summer, fall, winter season. And so if that's something that you're feeling compelled to be a part of, please come see me personally. But in the interim, if you're being prompted, if you're feeling kind of inspired or going, you know what, I really want to be a part of this and are willing to be a part of it, you can follow the QR code and help us get started today. We're going to continue to talk about this in the weeks ahead, in some ways unashamedly because we need to, and it's sort of a healthy thing at this point. But will you give David a nice round of applause for being up here with me this morning? You can stay or go, but I had the privilege recently of there's a family that's helped start Watershed 20 years ago, and Jamie and Daniel McCollum, excuse me, Jamie moved from Jacksonville, Florida, to help start Watershed. She was our first kids person. And then Daniel came on board really early. They ended up getting married and really just experiencing so much here for so many years until they kind of outgrew Watershed, if you want to know the truth. They needed, the way they saw the world as informed by Watershed led them to a different part of the world where they're now doing amazing work in the intersection of equity, justice, and job creation in the country of Guatemala. And Jamie, about 2 weeks ago, reached out to me, and she sent this message that she gave me permission to share. 20 years. I can remember those first days and the weeks leading up to it, passing out flyers and all the early mornings of cleaning out the back rooms of Actors Theater, our first Watershed location, our first block that morphed from Sunday night gatherings of cooking pasta and hanging out times together. 20 years. What an extraordinary milestone, not just in longevity, but in depth of impact that this community's made on so many lives, mine included. When I think back on my time at Watershed, I remember it as a season of awakening, a place where Daniel and I unlearned some of the harmful theology we once adhered to and began to try on new ways of understanding faith, grace, and community. It was truly a sacred space to rediscover God in the midst of our most honest relationships. Watershed as a community helped shape my understanding of what true community looks like, one rooted in authenticity, compassion, that honors people's journeys as much as their beliefs. Thank you, Watershed, for the courage it took to create this space, through all the ups and downs, and for the countless unseen moments of faithfulness that made it possible. I'm deeply grateful for how Watershed continues to ripple outward in my life and in the lives of so many others. We love you all so much. Wherever I am in the world, Watershed, you are such a huge part of my story. Jamie McCollum. God, as we celebrate and as we express gratitude this morning and then move into even more deeper understandings of why this matters, we just want to say thank you. We're grateful for where we are, and we're grateful for where we're headed. And it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
I want you to all take a breath in and a breath out. Another breath in, another breath out. Whenever we have to be in particularly church spaces and talking about money, I tend to have to tend to my inner child and some of those narratives that come up. And I'm grateful for this space that we get to cultivate new narratives and stewardship. And there's so many areas that we get to do that in, whether it's practicing solidarity with each other, whether it's coming home to ourselves so that we can be a part of community, whether it's taking care of our kids, like we'll hear next. It just reminds me that no matter where we are on the journey and the emotions and things that we feel, it's okay. And that there is a God that is always with us, always always, always holding us, even in the really, really hard moments. We hope this song lets that shine forth.
I can make it through the day when you're with me on the way. In my heart and mind you'll stay. I can make it through the night when I'm clinging to your light. You will make the darkness bright. For you are always, always with me. Yes, you are always, always with me. In the calm and in the storm, when it feels I'm all alone, it's your hand I find to hold. In each hour of unrest, when it seems I've nothing left, you speak peace in every breath. For you are always, always with me. For you are always, always with me. In the morning, evening, when I'm waking, when I'm sleeping, when I'm arriving, and when I'm leaving. Yes, you will have me in your keeping. Even from my mother's womb, never hidden from your view, I was always known to you. When I fade away in death, you will catch my final breath. You will take me to my rest. And when I'm leaving,
Well, it's me again, getting a full dose of Matt O'Neill this morning. To my left is Kelsey Smith. Give it up for Kelsey this morning. Yeah. So if you're new to Watershed, Kelsey has been our greenhouse, and I'm going to apologize. I have a cough drop that I'm working on here because I've been coughing for 2 straight weeks. But Kelsey's been our greenhouse pastor since April, our first official month. Prior to that, she was our interim greenhouse pastor starting in November. And there's been a couple weekends where we've kind of brought Kelsey up and said, hey, tell us a little bit about yourself. But it's almost been like the movie trailer version and not the full-length feature film. And so we're going to kind of lean into that this morning. Having you be here now for several months and in your role, we thought, first of all, we want to be grateful. We want to practice gratitude for the privilege of being able to shape kids here at Watershed. But then also, I'd love for you to, for Watershed, to get to know you a little bit better and kind of what you're envisioning for the future. Before we go there, who is Kelsey Smith to Kelsey Smith? That's kind of a lead-in question that we've developed here at Watershed, so go for it.
That's a hard question when you're asked out of the blue. I am a naturally curious person. I ask a ton of questions all the time. I think it's something that helps me work with kids, to be honest, because they also ask 1,000 questions. Growing up, I was talking to my sister, and she reminded me of this, but growing up, if we would get a new CD, the first thing I would do is get the booklet out of the front and read every single lyric, and I wanted to know who wrote it, everything, until it was memorized in my head. There's a lot of information that I think I could unlearn and put new information in if I didn't have all those lyrics in my brain, but that's where we're at, so we're working with it. I love to read. I read anything and everything I can get my hands on. When Tommy did the talk on astrology, I walked, after service, I was like, I know nothing. He goes, I have a book, and I devoured it. So thank you, Tommy, so much for that. And I also have a wonderful, beautiful family, and Graham, my husband, who you hear play the drums or the piano or whatever, is my best friend I have the privilege of being married to. And then I have 2 awesome kids who are curious and wonderful and empathetic and kind and beautiful and all the things that kids are. So I don't know, that's like a snippet of who I am.
That works. That works. So 15 years, right?
Yeah.
In ministry of some kind, mostly kids, right?
Yeah.
Why kids? Why? What's the motivating factor, or why is your heart beat in that direction?
Why not kids? I think that kids are the purest form of what curiosity looks like. We get to be around tiny humans who are still trying to figure out gravity. They're still trying to ask big questions about their life, and they are naturally the person in the room who's going to ask the most questions. And for me, I grew up very evangelical. That is, my previous churches were evangelical. My upbringing was my dad is a pastor, all of the things. And the things I had to unlearn as an adult, I don't want my kids to have to unlearn. I don't want them to have to come into a space and hear about vengeance and horrible things that scare a child. Instead, kids are naturally inclusive. They don't ever have to, they are taught prejudice, right? And there's a gazillion reasons for why kids.
Yeah, there's a quote that you were sharing with me that kind of animates you each week that really is sort of the legacy of someone that came before you.
Blair, when she left, when I took over as interim for her, Blair put this quote on the computer, and every single day when I open the computer, I read it, and it's ingrained in my system, but I still read every day brand new information. But it's no one is healing by being told they're in the way. And kids are often told to be seen and not heard, or they are put off in another place or position because that is where they belong. It is only a kid's area. However, I think that is also sending the message that they are not good enough to be in any other space, right? So I want to undo that.
Yeah, you want your work to pronounce. When we were talking, you were mentioning how pronouncing value by not just making sure kids are seen, but the way that adults flow
Yeah.
towards kids. Talk a little bit about the idea of healing our past through the work that gets done with kids.
It's not unknown, right? Trauma or things that impact us, wounds, happen either intentionally or unintentionally. And some of the things that help heal us, right? Kim has big words. I don't have big words when it comes to this, but I wish I did like Kim. But when we are around kids or we are rewiring our brain, we're having hard conversations, we are allowed to question those kinds of things. You are ultimately healing parts of you that probably are wounded. Working with kids in this manner does that. We often in Greenhouse let them lead questions. We will give them questions and things like that, but they will ask you the even harder questions right back. Like today I had a kid ask me like, hey, what's a soul? I'm like, oh, what do you think a soul is? Because I don't know how to answer you in this hallway right now, but I would love to.
Anyone that's ever been through preface is like, oh man, they're doing it in kids too, huh?
Sorry,
That's
it's
what
just
like in preface.
all the way through. Yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of neuroscience written about what it means when you create healthy relationships, healthy family ecosystems, or community relationships, that your brain is getting rewired and it actually helps you heal from some of the past. It doesn't do all the work for you, but it gets you moving in a particular direction.
Yeah, I agree. And in this space, talking about faith without knowing the answers is actually pretty healing. I don't know about for you, but personally, and people who I am friends with here at Watershed, we grew up in a space where we were expected to know the answer. Shout out Awana. We were expected to know the answer and to like regurgitate scripture without understanding anything or context or who wrote any of it. And so when you walk into a space and it's okay not to know the answer, it's pretty freeing to be like, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm gonna be open-handed with it, and we can talk through it and figure it out together. Or we think it might be, and maybe we're wrong, but that's okay because we're still going to like deep dive. We're still gonna ask the hard questions.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between providing the right answers and knowing how to carry and cultivate curiosity. The part of where I think the church has gotten itself into trouble, one of the many ways, is the shutting down of curiosity versus the valuing and the instruction around what does it mean to really be curious versus judgmental, which is,
Agreed.
I think Ted Lasso said something about that. Probably Jesus too.
Same.
So you've been doing this, like we said, for 15 years. The world is a much different place than from where you grew up or I grew up. Ministry has changed a lot, and it's certainly changed while in terms of you entering into this space. Can you talk a little bit about some of the differences, good, bad, or otherwise?
There's so many. Yeah, the biggest shift I have seen, especially in the kids ministry realm, and even just in church in general, is old churches, evangelical church, things like that. Like they had a particular way of doing things that Watershed does not, which is a beautiful thing to walk into. And there are things that Watershed does that those churches cannot do. And I'm grateful for that shift because it also changes a mindset. It's a paradox that churches used to, and still do, like emphasize really horrible, harmful, bad theology on kids and then expect them to be critical thinking adults. And that has shifted, especially here. And I know that, like, I'm a millennial through and through, and I think that, like, the generations that surround the millennials have done this a little bit as well. But we are so focused on unlearning the harmful things to relearn good and healthy habits and behaviors that we don't want it for our kids. One of my hopes and dreams of Greenhouse is that they don't have to unlearn bad theology. They don't have to walk out of Greenhouse and be like, I was really afraid of this story today because somebody got, like, I don't want them to have to do that or to feel scared into heaven or scared out of hell, because that was a language like common phrase used all the time. But that has shifted immensely.
Yeah, I think this kind of state the obvious, but Kelsey and Madeline as well. Madeline Comer is our student, senior in middle school, Shed student pastor. in the adult world, in this room and in whatever environment that we're creating, we understand that there are stages of development. And we're kind of accommodating to that as we talk to an audience. We realize people are showing up in different stages of development or different experiences, different perspectives, so on and so forth. When you realize that with kids, you're not just talking about the different developmental stages that adults experience. You're talking about literally developmental stages that kids go through. And so to be able to strike a balance and go, what is age appropriate? How do we talk about this particular idea, or what are we handing our kids? That is, I think Kelsey has the let me just cut this. She has the hardest job at Watershed. I mean that. And right now doing it as a part-time, in a part-time status. I think it's also worth mentioning that, part of the beauty of what we just celebrated last week was a more collaborative expression of leadership. So our teaching team, kind of has this wealth of knowledge and spectrum of experiences and ideas, and it just seems to work here. The music leadership team is leaning into this, and I'd just be curious, what do you think 2026 might start to look like for Greenhouse? What are some of the ideas that you're starting to think about to go, all right, here's a couple of things that I want to hang my hat on for our kids and our community?
If you got the chance to come to the Parent Connect that we had a couple weeks back, it was a lot of fun, honestly. I think the most awkward part was when I gave an open-ended question and then stared at everybody in the room because I wanted other people to talk besides me. For Greenhouse specifically, I want it to be collaborative. I want it to be something that, yes, our parents are invested and our volunteers are invested, but I want it to be a place where kids want to go. There's a difference between when kids walk into a place and they're begrudgingly walking into a classroom because they know they have to be here and it's boring or whatever it might be. Shoes are wrong that day. It could be a handful of things that make it hard. But I want it to be a place where kids want to go, where they're excited to be a part of, and where they get to have really hard, deep, maybe silly conversations about faith. They get to ask about who Jesus is. They get to learn about Beatitudes and how we do treat our neighbor with kindness and love because they are people and they're good. But for parents, I want it to be a place of connection. I want there to be engagement. And none of these things are new, right? Our volunteers who are already there do a phenomenal job. And I've said this before, they do a phenomenal job of loving every single kid that walks in. And they are co-creating an experience where those kids get to enter into a space with their faith that they might not have been before. But for families, and our volunteers and our kids, I want it to be a place where we are able to grow together. Our families engage, our kids engage, our volunteers are just as eager to get in the classroom as our kids are.
Yeah, there was a parent that sent me an email literally this past week, and they're overwhelmed like so many parents are in today's world. They live about 30 minutes from now, and they're just dying to be here. Distance makes it hard. Just the world, busyness with kids makes it hard. But one of the things that they mentioned was, I don't know how to talk to my kids about a faith that I know, like the faith that I used to practice, I don't have anymore. So I'm not sure how to even verbalize to my kids or to help build in them, if they're going to have a faith, to critique down the road one that is generous, one that is kind, one that values the stranger, that values the person outside of their normal, and not in a way that looks at them as an enemy or a threat or an other. These are, I don't know about some of you guys, but none of that was happening for me when I was growing up. None of those types of questions were being poised. I'm just curious, you're a parent right now. Is that some of the things that you're working through as well?
Yeah. Everything is tired right now. Our society, our jobs, it feels like a lot. There's just a lot going on in general. And as a parent, it's hard to hold in tension some days their curiosities about what is happening as well as our own, because we don't have answers for everything going on around us. And that includes faith. So with our own kids, we are open-handed with it. Our kids will ask really deep questions and we will lob it right back to them and be like, well, what do you think about it? And we talk about it. I'm very thankful to not be the smartest person in the room when I am at the Parent Connect or when I talk to other people, because if I am the smartest person in the room, something is wrong. It's because I'm not learning anything. I'm not experiencing something else outside of myself. And so in talking about Parent Connect, which we'll preface by saying Matt was right and I was wrong, so I just need that to be on record. It's recorded.
Can you say that again?
Yeah. Oh, sir.
This is what happens when you let me do the slides.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's not happening again.
And my wife is doing the slides.
Donna.
And I don't know if I was hoping maybe she would absorb some of this. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, please continue on.
Matt said, he was like, hey, this Parent Connect, maybe we do, I don't know, like 3 or 4 throughout the year. And I was like, no, I think we do one, we get some good information, and then we like find other places to get together. I walked away from Parent Connect and I was like, crap. Okay, well, we're going to have another one and probably like 3 more because it was great. It was genuinely great. But what I'm excited about is I have parents who are experts on things that I know nothing about. And I'm so grateful for that. And so I've reached out to them asking if they will lead a Parent Connect to see if they can share their expertise, because they're also parents. And what they're experts in pertain specifically to their kids and helping them, whether it's being neurodivergent or if they're talking about faith with their kids and giving like practical, tangible things to work through, then we're going to do it. And it's not just for parents. If you are curious about it, come too, because it's genuinely good. Like, it's just good to sit in a room with people who are asking questions and then finding answers, or maybe not, and we all find together.
Or maybe the next best question.
Yeah.
So if somebody is interested in getting connected, and I wasn't sure if I was going to say this or not, but I think I should. I think if you're able to do so, it would be worth every single person, at least for a season, volunteering in Greenhouse. Part of what we're saying when we flood that space with adults that are caring, that are willing to be coached a little, because I know the training is not rocket science, but it's just a little bit of mirroring, and Kelsey kind of teeing you up with a partner volunteer. But if you're willing to do that, and you can follow this QR code and get yourself set up, the message we send to our kids when we do this is, hey, you're seen, you're loved, you're valued, and this community doesn't see you as some group of people that we just push down that hallway. Like, you're a part of who we are, and we want to make sure that you know that. Kelsey, thank you for sharing this morning. Will you give it up for Kelsey this morning? Thank you.
They got off faster than I expected them to. And then, the next song that we are going to do, as Sergey makes his way up to the stage with us, is a new song to this community. And I want to invite you to have fun with it. And I know that sounds weird, given all the things that we held today. But I think it's really important, because what you just experienced is a community that has breadth and width and depth to hold so much. And so in the traditions that I come from, especially in the Black tradition, we sing a lot about joy. And again, it's not a toxic positivity. For us to really know joy, we sometimes have to know the depths of our lament. And so maybe you want to dance to this song. Maybe you move your body a little bit. There's a part in the song that maybe you turn to your neighbor and you sing to them. Are they your joy? Are they your peace? Do you see them lifting off the weight of the world? I said last week, we get the opportunity to create God together. And that's one of those moments. So however you want to join in these next few moments, this next song, you're invited to. I can feel you lifting off the weight of the world. I can feel you lifting off the weight of the world. I can feel you lifting off the weight of the world. I can feel you lifting off the weight of the world. You are my joy, you are my joy. joy. You are my joy. You are my joy. You are my joy. Hey! You are my joy. You are my joy. I can feel you lifting off the weight of the world. I can feel you lifting off the weight of the world. I can feel you lifting off the weight of the world. I can feel you lifting off the weight of the world. You are my joy. You are my joy. Hey, you are my joy, you are my joy. You are my joy, you are my joy. You are my joy, you are my joy. In you is all my hope and my peace. In you is all my hope and my peace. In you is all my hope and my peace. In you is all my hope and my peace. In you is all my hope and my peace. In you is all my hope and my peace. In you is all my hope and my peace. In you is all my hope and my peace. And I can feel you lifting off the weight of and I can feel you lifting off the weight of the world. I can feel you lifting off the weight of the world. I can feel you lifting off the weight of the world. You are my joy, you are my joy. Hey, hey, hey. You are my joy, you are my joy. 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 Hey. You are my joy, you are my joy. You are my joy, you are my joy. You are my joy, you are my joy. are my joy. You are my joy. Hey, hey, hey.
You are my joy. You are my joy. You are my joy. You are my joy.
You are my joy.
You are my
Joy.
Hello. Oh, there we go. So, real quick before you go, Watershed, just two quick announcements. The first one, next Sunday is Friendsgiving. How many of you been to Friendsgiving before? All right, we're going to have a lot of rookies in the room next weekend, so that's good news. Please register. Follow the QR code. Dominic Johnson, who's overseeing that part of our morning, has asked me to please have everybody register so that she knows what everybody's bringing. So that's the first thing. Second thing, Garinger High School.
Good job.
I called it Granger all morning. Garinger High School, which is one of the more under-resourced high schools here at Watershed, is doing a food drive to help provide support for some of its families. There's already a few items in the bins that are down the greenhouse hallway. If you're coming back next weekend, or if you want to come by anytime this week and drop off food, please know that we would welcome that. Next Sunday, as you're bringing your food items, maybe get a little extra and drop those in the bin. And then finally, Watershed, a benediction. May we go from this place with hearts stretched wide in gratitude, grateful for the freedom to believe in ways that heal, to love in ways that liberate, to live in ways that honor the beautiful diversity God has woven among us. May we give thanks for the abundance we share, not measured in wealth, but in courage, compassion, and the steady generosity that fuels work that truly matters in the world. Work that mends, restores, protects, and sets people free. May we celebrate the privilege and responsibility of shaping our children, shaping them through a lens of kindness, teaching them that our neighbors are gifts, not strangers or a threat, that love is our compass, and that God's dream is a world where everyone has enough and no one is left out. And as we step back into our ordinary lives, may gratitude be our rhythm, justice be our practice, and love, always love, be our way. Go in peace to be peace, in the name of the one who embodied it all, Jesus himself. Amen. Have a great weekend. Love you guys. See you soon.